of death. You do thousands of splash damage with your fireball.
Does this not have like the highest cooldown in the world to prevent people from doing AP Shyvana?
It's like a 4-second cooldown.
You've got to be kidding.
So its splash damages, I believe it reduces armor as well.
So I actually have not seen AP Shyvana in game.
So let's check out some AP Shyvana. Let's show Fish what it means to play Shyvana.
Do not.
In our current
He's
meta.
using Presti attack. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. All hail the Presti attack. No AP Shyvana.
Are we really doing this?
Yes.
Is this guy for real now?
Has AP Shyvana been played in a competitive match?
No, but has Shyvana been played in a
Thank
competitive
goodness.
match in the past year?
Yes, Shyvana has been played a competitive match the past year. You have not watched the LPL. Not this year, but the past year.
So let's see what happens. Let's see what Meng has to bring to the table. If he's going to go AP or he's just going to stick with the conventional on-hit build. This matchup is pretty... It looks like Steel is quite AP damage-centric right now, so they might want to try and avoid tunneling themselves into a specific direction and try to spread out the damage a little bit. Meanwhile, on the side of Cross 5, they do have a little bit of damage spread out in the forms of the Orianna and Morgana. Pretty even starts coming in from both sides. We do see a Rip buff start, so opposite starts coming in from both junglers.
I like the red buff start coming out from Shyvana here. Means that if Camille tries to do anything, you know, cheeky early on against the Poppy in the top lane,
yeah,
we're going to see Shyvana go straight up towards top side map, which is the best bet to gank for either of these two junglers right now.
That's true.
Especially when Kadeep decides to do things like this.
Yeah, just take out like 300 health, 2 plus 100 health away from Azir.
And now, Azir is now a target in the top lane for Kadeep. Shyvana's not going to end up there. It's immediately straight down towards Wolves, going to try and pick up blue buff as well.
Shyvana does have the additional advantage of a very fast clear initially. Once she gets a couple of the spells going, she can outpace a lot of the junglers in the game. I think Nocturne is still a little bit safe from that issue. Ooh, a bit of a skirmish up top side. But again, as you mentioned, there's a lot of focus around bot side this game.
A lot of focus will be around bot side, but look at that. Top side of map, Kadeep's already knocked Azir down incredibly low. Crafting potion is available, and he's also got the time tonic, meaning that he'll get a percentage of the crafting potion up front whenever he uses it. Paid with some great trades in the mid lane as well. Steel Wolves looking good in the mid lane. Top side, not so good at the moment. Very curious to see how much emphasis they're going to use on playing around Shyvana here, because her passive does, you know, used to revolve around picking up dragons. Oh, I'm trying to make sure it's still the same. Yeah, as Shyvana and her allies slay more dragons, she gains more bonus armor and magic resistance.
Additional stats with Shyvana is always a good thing. See how things pan out for Steel Wolves. They even managed to make it to the point where dragons start to become a more critical factor. A lot of the games we've seen today have ended in a pretty early fashion, around the 20-something minute mark. Not all that many dragons being picked up. It might just be the case for us again today in this 5th match for us. Cross 5 versus Steel Wolves. A lot of things right on this match.
So it doesn't let Shyvana grant that much more. 5 armor, 5 magic resistance before every dragon that her team kills. So if they, you know, kill every dragon on point, I mean, dragon sort of respawn time did get reduced recently. I mean,
oh yeah, never underestimate.
So
5 stats.
It can give you a bit more. But she also does do 20 bonus physical and magic damage to Dragon Self. Oh, he didn't wait for the second chain to proc to get the extra damage there, Pain.
Try to avoid a little bit more damage from the Maiden in the Cascade.
So this is what we're starting to see from the Sivir Zillion lane. Look at how Morgana and Caitlyn have not touched this turret yet. Good, you know, damage that comes out indirectly from Sivir. Make sure that Caitlyn's always on her toes, always taking some damage. Zillion as well gives the level up, is able to throw out the bombs to get the poke going as well. And suddenly, this Caitlyn Morgana comp, which is meant to be at your turret, is not at your turret anymore. Shutting this down. It still scales well into mid-game and late game, but just is not doing what the composition is designed to do.
Oh yeah, I mean, you take this for, if you wanted something that goes specifically into the late game, you would have drafted for that. But now they have this pseudo situation where, you know, it doesn't have that kind of early game power that they look for. Meanwhile, both junglers looking a little bit aggressive right now, trying to establish a little bit of control around this river, around the Dragon Pit.
And Zero suddenly doing well in this matchup. Actually tackling Kadeep. Ooh.
Drops him down to a little bit of health there. Kadeep barely escapes with his life.
I mean, Zero just knew exactly when to try and go for the tackle. I don't like that he used his steadfast presence so early though. Felt like if he got the tackle and then held on to the steadfast presence to make sure that he stopped the hook shot would be nicer.
Yeah, probably might have been expecting the hook shot to come out a little bit earlier, or might have been looking for the move speed, but either way, doesn't actually burn out the flash there, so it's just going to be a little bit of free space given over to the Poppy. Meanwhile, mid lane looks to have reset, both junglers going for the quick recall. The LeBlanc opting for that single Dark Seal to start off, and not opting for the second.
So, having a look at this, Shyvana's W does deal magic damage, but it scales on AD.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Whereas the E does scale on AP, and the Dragon's Descent
does.
Oh my
goodness, the mid lane! Barrier comes out, but the Ignite's taken away. Dot
no.
after dot, but it's still first blood.
Barrier normally does well into Ignite, but already had taken too much damage, so it actually just ticked through the duration of the barrier there. I put my head down to look at some Shyvana stats, and then someone dies mid lane.
Wow, rushing that 6-minute dragon coming out. That's the Shyvana. She wants that 5 bonus armor in magic resist.
Look at this. Top lane's completely swung back. Zer's gone and picked up the single item of Ninja Tabby. And that's enough for him to do well into this lane. And Poppy's always had a decent matchup against Camille. Yeah, as you see with every other champion that Camille plays against. You kind of just don't do well early because Camille is so dominant early. But now that it revolves around, you know, playing through hook shots and whatnot, steadfast presence will stop that. Poppy has some great lane control, range attacks too. Grassy now going to keep it sustained up top. And meanwhile, Steel's mid lane, LeBlanc, doing well against the Orianna, winning that matchup. And since bottom lane's pushed back by Sivir as well as Zilean, it's unlocked Dragon as well. Steel was able to control this map quite dominantly.
Up in the top side, Poppy might see herself get caught by the Hexa ultimate and misses the Poppy copter. Might not even matter though, stuck in between the minion wave. They're both looking for this fight. The sweep comes through, but it won't be able to find a kill.
I actually would have liked if Azure just went for the single tap knockup. Go for the charge after the Hextech ultimatum. Actually, no, just charge him through the Hextech ultimatum. Knock him out of that. You'll get yourself out of there if you do that as well. And then go for the single tap knockup. People are now targetable if it's only the single tap. And go for the fight. I felt like he could have turned that one around. All the burst damage was used.
But impossible right now. Pain just going to kite a little bit back and forth against the Orianna. Might see it get taken down. The flash forward and the auto attack. But the fiery breath claims the kill on the Orianna anyway. And the flash away as the dragon has to back and respect this eternal monster. Nothing coming with the Paranoia. Level 6 ultimate is going to be focused around the mid lane.
I don't think Pain really needs to be that aggressive there. Meng should be enough to secure the kill, but he decided to stick around. The last auto attack came out from the Orianna to pick up the kill. Meng gets one for himself as well.
Just going to see themselves pick up a trade-off of kills. We'll see the Shyvana pick up a little bit here. Looks like it's actually a regen lead. So I don't think that's going to be a Rooting Echoes. I think that's going to be a Tiamat. So,
yes. Oh, he's been caught out here though. He's taking too much damage.
Already uses flash in the mid lane. It's a solid pick out coming from the Morgana, rotating over.
Well picked by the bottom lane as well as Orianna rotating over to protect the Raptor camp. Shyvana was racking up a nice CS lead. At one point it was 68 to 50 CS.
Yeah.
Good pick. Red buff goes over to Orianna. Should help her out in the mid lane. Not only does it give extra auto attack damage in the slow, but red buff also gives you passive health regeneration. So that's going to help her out.
You know, taking a look over at the Nocturne, actually holding on to the blue buff for himself, not handing it over to the Orianna.
That's just rude.
That might slow down the push coming in if they want to try and shove out mid lane.
Or a spell shield coming out from Mish there as well. Nicely done. Just those awkward dark bindings that sometimes thread through the wave, and that he was able to spot out and deal with quite well there. You can see now Kadeep, since that Ninja Tabby pickup, he's been struggling whenever he gets into these skirmishes against Poppy. And he's able to go toe-to-toe for a bit, but then after a little bit of time, Poppy just starts to turn that around. Doesn't look favorable to the Camille anymore.
Yeah, and even as you were looking towards some of the junglers coming in, you talked about how there might be a little bit of pressure from the Nocturne up top side if they wanted to go for that. Instead, they opted to try and just power farm on this Nocturne. I don't know, did the Paranoia, could it still be used in the top lane?
can it still be used in the top lane?
Can it be used efficiently in the top lane, or can Poppy just find herself escaping?
Timing is, it's possible, but timing is awkward. Oh, ooh, Zero doesn't get the slam. Knocks him away instead.
That's quick work on the Camille. Just knocks her away then. She won't be able to find the kill just yet. Oh, collapse coming in. The Dragon's Descent. They're looking to lock down onto the Orianna here. Won't be able to find her way out. The Paranoia coming in with a return. That's just a nice turnaround from Crossfire.
Yeah, I don't know how Orianna didn't see that right there happening. After LeBlanc comes in for a single spell rotation, then you get knocked down to nothing, and it's like, I'm just going to walk straight back to mid lane after this fight.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, no, that's what's going to happen.
I have barrier. I have shield.
I like what Revelate did there. He flashed early, so it was unexpected for Shyvana to be there, but the flash early meant that he got back to safety away from the Shyvana initial knockback. Then he was able to come back in with his ultimates, pick up and secure the kill for his squad. Good shockwave, but poor decision from Cal to move straight back into the mid lane.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that you don't want, especially after you pick up a bit of advantage for yourself.
You can see as well, by the way, how aggressive Mitch is happy to play, because even when those even when the 90 caliber net comes out, if Sivir wants, can spell shield it. Look at that, almost just killed Caitlyn because of the speed up that Zilean gives. This lane has completely neutralized the Caitlyn Morgana pick. They can't fight this. Cross 5 don't have an Orianna ultimate. They don't have Caitlyn there either. This is another free dragon going to Steel Wolves, timed very well.
And for Dragon as well, gonna help pad up those attack damage and ability power stats. Just gonna make things a little bit easier for Steel Wolves. I'm still a little bit upset that we don't get to see AP Shyvana. We'll see how well.
Stop it!
We'll see how well attack speed Shyvana is able to fare as we jump into.
What
this
is
game.
wrong with you? You're just a sadist.
It's a good chat.
It's a meme.
It's a good way to play the game.
It's like APE. Like, just stop.
Yes, APE was great.
God.
I don't know what. You did not have enough fun at this game, but here we have over to the mid lane. They're looking to try to get a catch onto Cal. The Paranoia jumping in, looking to make them move on to the LeBlanc. But we do see Sly making the play to save his mid laner. They won't be able to find too much more aggression there. Really
nice from Revelate again. He held on to the Paranoia until Paint jumped backwards, which was also good play by Paint. If he had immediately dashed back, then Relevate would have been able to get in there quicker.
Oh no! Surprise! It's a Nocturne coming by, and Revelate just gonna say hello to Ming. Now looks to go back and try and pick up this Rift Herald.
This is a big fight though. The teleport comes through.
Orianna in the flanks as well. They're looking to try and get a catch onto the Nocturne first, but they won't be able to find it. Shockwave coming out. They haven't picked up the Rift Herald just yet. But there we go. The flash onto the LeBlanc to get that kill. Azir making the rotation coming in as well. The chains from it. This is going to be the Hexa ultimatum cancelled by the Hourglass. On the stopwatch. And oh my goodness.
Steel Wolves. That was beautiful. That was amazing. The coordination right there for them to play around the huge flanking team fight that Cross5 should have had right there was amazing. Watch this. Like, there is no way that LeBlanc should win this fight. There is no way that they should actually lose this in general, but it's played so well. I mean, the flash to go and kill Orianna and then immediately use the stopwatch. Boom. So not only does the fireball slow down Kadib so he can't chase through, but then Paint jumps in. Oh, sorry. Hextech, what? Beautiful play coming out from all the individual members of Steel Wolves committing to the Rift Herald play. They drop at mid lane, broken. Orianna now has to be careful in that lane.
Such well timing coming in from Kane here. He even denied the cooldowns on the Camille. The Hextech automatum is down. This can be a huge tool in Camille's arsenal that can't be used up against the Poppy in the top lane, who has already taken that lane by the helms here. 2-0 in this lane with the CS lead. It's not much, but she has been behind for a lot of the early parts of the game, and here we have it. Almost 1,000 gold lead.
It just feels like Steel Wolves have drafted to win every single lane matchup. Camille came out early. Sure, here's Poppy. We'll lose the first 2 minutes, and then Poppy's going to be fine. Bot lane, Caitlyn Morgana. Well, here's Sivir Zilean. We win that too. Mid lane, pick block blind. Yeah, not many people are going to be able to take that matchup anyway. And then they just go, well, all our lanes are going to win. Here's our pocket Shyvana, who's just going to take every single objective under the sun.
hello, is that a LeBlanc over on the back end? The hook shot coming out, but we're still going to see the FO chains anyway. And the easy distortion for the kill. There's LeBlancs everywhere.
Beautiful. Azure, like, just understanding the matchup perfectly there. He knows that if the hook shot goes onto the wall, while Camille's traveling to the wall, you can knock her straight into it and lock her down.
Here we have a catch onto the support. Nyrus looks to try and escape. That's going to be the chains coming out. Might see enough damage onto Mushi. Won't be able to see them get the kill there. Shockwave onto 2, but it's an easy teleport flank coming in from the Poppy. Azure finds that kill. Now they're chasing after a little bit more.
He's not going to be able to get much more, but again, such good skirmishing coming out from the bottom side of Steel Wolves' lanes.
They're looking to try and go for this damage. Might see him jump back from the distortion. Ignite taking onto the Poppy as well. She dodges away from the traps. A lot of damage onto her so far, but not enough from the Caitlyn. Barely able to find much at all. Flashing forward, she will get the catch onto the LeBlanc. They have vision of her through that ward, but the Dragon's Descent turns the fight around, locking down onto the Camille. She almost finds the last auto attack, but gets taken down just in time.
He's still going!
They're looking for this right now. The feed coming out. She gets the drop on, and it's a 600 go shutdown.
Oh my god! Azero is so brave! He is so brave, Grandin! He just runs through turrets and takes shots for absolutely no reason. Decided to chase people down.
5-1 and 3, by the way.
This Steel Wolves composition is beautiful to watch.
Absolutely. A game where they are just, they've drafted, as you said, to win the matchups. You can just see how it panned out in this highlight right here.
I mean, Azero in this play just put on his big boy pants. He just goes in. He's had enough. So first he dives the turret, and he just decides, you know what, I'm going to stick around, Frozen Fist Pop. Great. Then he's going to take about 10 shots from Caitlyn. Doesn't care at all. Immediately, Nocturne comes in, you know, free kill there, fine. Everything's still okay at this point. And then Azure just goes, you know what, I'm going to go around the backside. I'm going to tank this turret, and I'm just going to chase Nocturne away towards his base.
Camille's like, so close,
the rest of the kills don't matter. Just watch this beautiful Poppy.
This is what matters here. No, I'm going to say that was an AP Shyvana.
Stop it.
Azir wouldn't have had to
get out of the broadcast room right now. Get out.
All right. I'm
so 3-2 and 4 Shyvana.
I'm going
145 CS.
Yeah, that's true. She has been working very well to establish a lead over the Nocturne. I think we were talking a little earlier about how Nocturne has been doing quite well for himself to go in for these ganks, to be in the right place at the right time. But even then, Meng has just been everywhere on the map alongside Pain, and they've just been collapsing onto him, sole members of Crossfire.
They've just got such a good run at U composition. Everybody in Steel Wars comp is fast. I'm not going to say mobile, but they are fast. Poppy, great movement speed. Shyvana, great movement speed. Double dash from LeBlanc. Civ Zillion, there's nothing much, you know, we can really talk more about how fast this composition is.
Oh no, this is another catch on the Camille. She's looking to try and turn things around. She does get the adaptive shield for a little bit longer, but that's a jump back, forces the flat. Nothing happened. Anyway, up in the top side. Constant pressure from Steel Wolves. They're looking to try and jump out the top wave.
Pain just goes, okay, Kitty flashed away from me. I can flash too. And just flashes back.
You have mobility. I have it too.
Just gentleman's agreement. You use a summoner, I will too. You know?
It is a little bit of an item discrepancy. Up in the top side, Camille only stuck with one item. Oh no. Jumping in, the shockwave, but the Dragon's Descent won't be deterred from that. And the paranoia from the Nocturne doesn't do much. He just gets sent flying away from the Poppycopter.
This is beautiful from Steel Wolves, and I believe this is a composition they've been saving. Unfortunately, both them and Crossfire went 4-1. And they had to use it in their match to make them to push them into the national minors. I don't see what else Crossfire can do here except for look for a great Orianna Shockwave.
Oh, so this time King gets the kill.
Yeah, he got it now, but they just need to sit back and wait for a good Orianna Shockwave. Nocturne and Camille are not going to be able to do much now. They are very squishy frontline champions. Caitlyn doesn't have enough items, just 2 at the moment.
I feel like Nocturne can work as an Orianna ball delivery system. It's just kind of like a shuttle boy for the Orianna to set that up, but we haven't seen much of that. They haven't even been in a team fight ready position.
Now, if anyone, it's going to be Camille. Camille's going to jump in, lock someone inside the ring, and then that's the ball delivery system. But yeah, it's not looking good right now for Crossfire, and I think Steel Wolves of this composition have just run a train. At this point, Steel Wolves should just be looking towards that Baron and saying, you know what, that's a free objective, let's take it. And Sivir needs the base of. Sivir's sitting on 220 farm, an Essence Reaver, and just a BF sword. I mean, Caitlyn's got an IE static chip. She should go back to base and buy.
Just holding off on that. No good window to go back when they have to be looking towards this Baron as an objective. Both sides just trying to hold on to this space, test the Baron, make the play. They're looking to start things out. First started on Steel Wolves, but it looks like Pain is looking for a flank, looking for a catch on the Trisha. They have vision now. The double distortion. Decision with Malice. Shyvana secures the Baron. The Dragon's Descent finds her on the back end. She flashes away, generates some distance. The Flame Breath looking to try and do a little bit more damage onto Cal. She might get taken down. Zillion with the ultimate keeps them alive. It doesn't even matter. They're going to kill everything that stands in their way. It's an ace for Steel Wolves.
What a setup from Steel Wolves. Not only clearing out the waves, making it difficult for Crossfire to react there. Cross5, sorry, to react there. But they also keep Paint hidden in Fog of War. Deletes Trisha. Nothing Trisha could do there.
No.
And then it's a 4-on-5. So no matter what you throw at them, your AD carries that. That's a significant portion of your damage gone.
Absolutely, and at this point, that's just a call to action for Steel Wolves to rush into the base, pick up this mid lane inhibitor. Now they're not stopping just yet. They want this bot side too.
I mean, they've already set up bot lane to push in. They can try and take this.
Fight might come in, charging up the hammer. They find a two-man knockback and decide it's time to back off. Staying prudent here. They managed to win that fight. They got two inhibitor turrets and an inhibitor. Decide, all right, we can back off now.
Right in time for a dragon.
The stars aligning for Steel Wolves here. Or rather, immaculate planning for the Steel Wolves. Everything according to plan, I would say. They managed to find another dragon for themselves. The fourth one. Is that the fourth dragon?
Fourth dragon picked up by Steel Wolves. 3 mountains.
We're at 22 minutes into the game, Fish.
3 mountains and 1 Infernal Drake picked up already.
Well now, no wonder they were so quick to do every objective.
I mean, that's what happens. You get an Infernal and 2 mountains. That's a quick Baron, especially when the composition revolves around a Shyvana Sivir. That's going to go down real quick. Shyvana's got 11,000 gold. Nocturne's got 7,000.
It's a big gap. Looking at a 12, almost a 13,000 gold deficit for X5 right now. A little bit difficult to come back from. You talked about their win condition. It's waiting for the Orianna ultimate, waiting for that shockwave. But
that's all they've got now.
It's all they have.
They need a 5-man shockwave.
But at this point,
and then they need 2 more after that. So I don't know where they're going to get the other 2 shockwaves from. Because I could see, we've seen the type of player Calumnia is. Like, we've seen how good he is.
Yeah.
He can hit a 5-man shockwave.
That's true.
But he needs 2 more.
Yes.
We don't have 2 more.
No, they only have enough. They only have enough budget for 1 Orion.
So he needs a 5-man shockwave, and then Morgana needs to hit a 5-man tether, and he needs all 5 members to be stunned. Then I think they can win.
That's a tall order for Cross5 right now. The hammer coming through, looking to just get the Caitlyn out of the way as they dish out damage to these objectives. The inhibitor going to go down. The paranoia might be the sign of the fight starting. Trying to jump onto the LeBlanc first, but not sure that's the right call. That's going to be used. The shockwave being used. They managed to find the LeBlanc first over the backline. Meng dishing out insane amounts of damage. Looking to take down 1. Does manage to find it, but ends up losing his life as well. Now they're trying to jump on the Kid, but Kid flashes away just in time. And the pressure coming through from the Caitlyn here.
So, Cross5 decide, you know what, we're not going to give up. We're going to go for that fight, and they do so really well.
They keep going. That's the stun on the Kid. He tries to go for the second charge of the hook shot, but gets blocked by the Steadfast Presence into the stun onto the inhibitor. And that's going to be hyper action coming in as Mish takes another kill onto the Morgana.
What I didn't like in that fight from Steel Wolves is Sly 2 was saving his ultimate for Mish, you could tell. I felt like if he put it on Meg there, that fight, this game would be over right now, but still holding on to it. He's still
like
going for fights.
Mish wants this. He goes in with the little thumbs up. Cheeky little play here. Gets the teleport in from his top laner as well. Popping back in. Looking for the stun on the Trisha. Not able to find it. Now he's taking a lot of damage from the turret, so he has to back off at this point. Three inhibitors down. It's time to reset.
3 inhibitors have gone down. Steel Wolves, they have not spent the gold ever since they took Baron. I mean, they haven't even been back to base since they've taken Baron. Everyone needs to go back, reset, pick up some items, and just go for that final push.
Yeah, and it's only a minute and a half till Baron respawns again, and that's going to be in the perfect time.
I mean, they started that fight really well, though. They killed LeBlanc right away, and they got a really good shockwave off.
That's true.
They got all the key points they needed to do, and it actually looked fairly even. You get maybe 5 more of those fights, you might be able to bring the game back.
LeBlanc decides that she doesn't need any damage. She doesn't need any survivability. She just goes for more damage, more raw stats. Has the Rabadons, has the Ludens. Not much prudence, though. No Hourglass coming through.
When you got a Zillion, and if you can trust him to ult you, should be fine. Sivir just goes back and straight up buys a static shiv.
I mean, the Zillion saved the ultimate for the Sivir there, so...
Yeah, so now
I'm not sure how much you can trust the Zillion in this game.
Sell the control ward, go get his Zhonya's instead. But they'll be fine. I mean, it was a really good fight coming out from Crossfire, but how many more of those can they pull off, and how long can they actually hold out for? Because even though they looked okay in that fight, they still lost, and they lost their final inhibitor. 13,000 gold is the difference between the two teams.
Mid inhibitor looking to respawn, and Steel Wolves are right on it. They are prepared to take this away from them once again. Meanwhile, a little bit more pressure. They're trying to just zone out members of Cross 5 here. Should be able to find this. Not too much of an issue for them right now. They are super strong.
Hail Mary!
They're looking for the shockwave.
Oh no!
Not able to connect onto anybody. The Chris coming through. The Dragon's Descent finds a kill onto the Nocturne. They get a second onto the Camille, and that's a double kill for the Shyvana, who killed off the Caitlyn. Look at this damage. They have every inhibitor down.
No.
They destroyed the base of Cross 5
That's why
here.
The ball delivery system on Nocturne not very reliable there, Grandin. They proc it halfway during his flight. Only hits a single player, and that's going to be Steel Wolves advancing to the national minors of the Sea Tour.
26 minutes and 50 seconds in. They close out the game in a very clean fashion. They knew exactly what objectives they had to take. There were a little bit more skirmishes, you know, here and there, but the way that the overall macro game looked was pretty solid.
Pretty much. I mean, man, that was one in draft by Steel Wolves. They basically saw everything that Cross 5 drafted was like, okay, we'll counter this, counter that, oh, we got all 3 counters. Let's throw in the finishing punch of Shyvana. It was really well played coming out.
Just a little extra garnish there.
Just a little bit of garnish.
I have to say the Shyvana in the end, with the raw attack speed and damage that was coming through, she found a kill in the back lines. Just eliminated the Caitlyn there.
What do you expect from on-hit, not AP Shyvana? I wonder. I wonder what she could do. Yeah, lots of things, granted, especially when you have 4 dragons, 20 extra armor, 20 extra magic resist.
We should go play some League. I'll show you AP Shyvana, by the way.
No, not happening. But a bit of a redemption story for Steel Wolves as well, because they got knocked out of the Sea Tour by being the 3rd seed from the Philippines. Now they get to go back into the national minors. They get to try and see if they can redeem themselves and represent the country at the Sea Tour. Because it was actually Archangels, whose fate is on the line next match. But he was like, just watch Pain. Just watch him. Look at him being so sneaky. He's sitting there. They don't clear out the ward. So he's basically got what's it? Full vision of this. Just 3 abilities, you're dead.
Yeah, this was just a clean setup coming in. The Shyvana diving into the back line by herself is just so low. It doesn't even matter. Look at just the raw damage they have at this point. Just so far ahead, and you have that Zillion as well. The Morgana effectively couldn't do anything anymore.
It was pretty much over at this point. I mean, top lane was attacked quite heavily by Camille in the very early levels of the game. But he couldn't really push the envelope. He really couldn't get anything out of it. He just held on, and once he got his ninja tabbies, that's when he's like, well, you can't fight me anymore because I have too much resistance.
Yeah.
I take too little damage from your Camille. I was able to do fine in that top lane. We saw mid lane, the Blanc got such an early jump on towards the Orianna. Was able to keep pressure there. And the bot lane was just neutralized so heavily by Sivir as well as Zillion.
Yeah, they work very well into their matchups, and that really helps cement their position, taking this game away and finding themselves as the representatives for Group C. And in our next game, we'll be checking out our last match of this group of the
group stage
of the group stage. Because we might see a tiebreaker come out.
Because we already have our 3 representatives locked in. We've got Leah from Group A, TNC Predator from Group B. Then we have Steel Wolves from Group C. Now, Group D, leading the pack right now at 4-1 is JPV. A win here will make them 5-1, and they'll be undisputed champions of Group D, only dropping a single match.
This is pretty important for them to try and pick up that win. However,
IPT and Archangels are both 3-2, which means if they... Sorry, IPT's 3-1. I got this wrong. Where did I mess up? I've got this wrong somewhere.
All right. So
they're 3-1.
JPV.
3-2. I can't do math anymore. I don't want to do math
won
anymore.
their game just now.
So they're 4-1.
So they are 4-1.
Yes. Everyone else is...
they have another game that went on the community broadcast, right?
Yes, they won that.
So now they are 5-1.
No. Sorry, they didn't have another game. It was somebody else.
Okay. So now they have 4-1. That's basically
JPV
it.
is 4-1.
And this is our last game with them. Let's take a quick look at this. While you try and do your math, I'm gonna do the post-game breakdown. Let's take a look at this. So Cross 5 coming in. They didn't have the strongest game. They tried to play the best of their abilities. They worked with the Oriana ultimate. The Shockwave did find a number of good finds. We've seen how Kel is able to get those. Morgana working in, sliding in a little often at times to try and look for those big plays that he could help try and get them back, but it's a high risk, high reward situation. Unfortunately, they weren't able to find the rewards they were looking for. Instead, we just saw a solid game from Steel Wolves, and yeah, I would give this a pain.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Meng. I feel like either Meng or Siva deserved it more.
I could see why, but Pain did have a pretty integral role to try and deny the Caitlyn as far as possible. Yeah. Caitlyn didn't even exist.
He pressed his outplay buttons. I mean, nice.
That's true.
I mean, I could press QWR sometimes. But I can't play Shyvana.
You don't even need to use them in that specific order.
Nah, he played well. He had good control in the mid lane. Had that big play at the very end to, help them win that final team fight. I did the math, okay? Got it now. Okay?
All right.
Fix my problems.
Okay.
Archangels are 4-2.
Yes.
JPV are 4-1.
Yes.
IPT are 3-2. JPV plays IPT in this next match. So, if JPV win, they're 5-1. And then the undisputed champions. If IPT win, they become 4-2. JPV become 4-2. Everybody except for Royal Zone is 4-2. And the only games they've lost is 1 to every other team, which means it's a complete dead 3-way tie. Which means we'd have to do a 3-way tiebreaker, which we also have the mathematic calculations of how it's going to work. And it's based on how fast IPT win this game if they win.
Alright, so we're gonna go into a quick little break before we have to watch this absolute speed match for IPT. I mean, it's a challenge.
It's not if they win, it still forces a tiebreaker.
That's true, but it
just depends on the seeding. One team gets an automatic seed into the last match of the tiebreaker. IPT can guarantee them having that seed if they win faster than 28 minutes and 44 seconds. So if their match time is 28 minutes 43 seconds, they get an automatic seed into the final match of the tiebreaker. In between 28:44 and 29:03, that time window, they get first pick. They get side selection in the first match, and after 29 minutes, they don't get side selection in the first match.
So let's see where they end up.
Lots of math.
With our games. We're going to go into a quick little break, guys, before we jump into our last match of the night, potentially. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.